Malay is a part of the Austronesian language family, but has been in contact with various languages which have helped shape Malay's vocabulary stock. Depending on the area, however, regional languages have also influenced Malay, like the Minangkabau language, Javanese, Iban, and etc. Those languages are related to Malay. This video will focus on the foreign influences. First off, Sanskrit. It's an Indo-European language, and was the start of culture contact, beginning in 1 CE, with the introduction of Sanskrit as the new language of religion, because of Buddhism. As such, a lot of these Sanskrit loanwords are quite old. A few examples. The word for language
Bahasa.
comes from the Sanskrit word
Bhasha.
meaning sign or description. The word for wife
Istri.
comes from Sanskrit.
Stri.
The word for universe
Jagat.
is a loanword from,
Jagat.
which also has the meaning of world alongside universe. The verb meaning to wipe or rub is.
Seka.
This comes from the Sanskrit word
Nishek.
meaning to wash. And the noun for reason or virtue
Budi.
comes from the word
Buddhi.
which means intellect or judgment. The second and third languages Malay had contact with were Arabic and Persian, both of them coming from the fact that many travelers from the Middle East came into Southeast Asia. A lot of intermarriage and spread of Islam helped make some Arabic and Persian words enter Malay. A lot of them still in use today. The word for maybe
Mungkin.
comes from Arabic mumkim. The word for a prayer
Doa.
comes from Arabic dua. The word for slander
Fitnah.
comes from the Arabic word fitnah. And the word for snow
Salji.
from thalj. And some Persian loanwords. The word for shirt.
Baju.
This comes from Persian,
Bazu.
which actually means arm. The noun for wheat
Gandum.
is a loanword from Persian.
Gandum.
The word for soldier is,
Askar.
which comes from the Persian word.
Askari.
And the word for a port or a town. In Malay, this is,
Bandar.
which was borrowed directly from the Persian word.
Bandar.
And of course, European languages. Since the 16th to 19th centuries, European powers have colonized areas of Africa, Asia, and the Americas. Current-day Malaysia, Brunei, and Singapore, alongside Indonesia, being one of these. While Dutch had the most influence on Indonesian, English had the most influence on Malay. And Portuguese had a limited amount of influence, but few loanwords are still used today. This also accounts for East Timor. The word for fork,
Garfu.
coming from Portuguese.
Garfo.
You may notice something a little different about this word. That's because in Malay, the f consonant is retained. The word for flag,
Bendera.
from Portuguese.
Bandeira.
The word for a doll
Boneka.
comes straight from Portuguese.
Boneca.
And the word for party,
Pesta.
from the word.
Festa.
Some examples of English loanwords,
Buku.
coming from the English word book. But I also hear that it also comes from Dutch,
Book.
Kelas.
is a loanword straight from English class,
Basikal.
of course means bicycle.
Lori.
This word comes from the word lorry in English, which is a type of truck, but in Malay,
Lori.
came to mean the noun for truck. And of course, Dutch loanwords too. The word for risk,
Risiko.
from Dutch.
Risico.
The word for banner,
Spanduk.
from Dutch.
Spandoek.
And the word for a cigarette, in Malay that's,
Rokok.
which comes from the Dutch verb,
Roken.
meaning to smoke. Now this video is a little short. I just wanted to focus on the more foreign influences of Malay vocabulary. Of course, a lot of Austronesian loanwords exist in Malay as well, alongside the other languages of Malaysia, Brunei, and Singapore, and Indonesia itself. It's always interesting to look at loanwords, because you get to see the influences on the language. Languages, after all, are much like humans. They grow, develop, and even change. Sometimes for better, sometimes for worse, but that's just up to opinion. So let me ask you, which loanwords from other languages do you share with Malay? I'm certain that a lot of people will recognize some Arabic loanwords in Malay due to Arabic having a large influence, And has there been a shift in using more native vocabulary rather than using loanwords? This is just something I'm curious about, so write them down in the comments below. Thank you all for watching this video. Until then, stick around and see ya.